Former Conservative Party leader Iain Duncan Smith has broken his silence following the devastating local election results, admitting that days later he's still struggling to process the scale of the loss. Reflecting on the party's collapse since their triumphant 2019 general election win, Duncan Smith points to the COVID-19 pandemic as the first major disruption, one that, while unavoidable, was marred by several government missteps. The Conservatives, he argues, never fully recovered. Just as the country began stabilizing post-pandemic, internal turmoil erupted. Boris Johnson's scandals undermined public trust, and Rishi Sunak's unsteady leadership failed to inspire confidence. Despite that, Duncan Smith says that by early 2024, many within the party believed a comeback was possible. Labour's internal struggles seemed to open a path for the Tories to recover ground ahead of the general election. But that hope evaporated as votes were counted last Friday. The results weren't just disappointing, they were catastrophic. In Duncan Smith's words, the party hadn't turned a corner, it had driven off a cliff. He now argues that the Conservatives must radically shift direction. Their recent strategy of courting the political center, he believes, has backfired. Attempting to be a more moderate alternative has only blurred the party's identity, leaving voters unsure of what the Conservatives stand for. In that ideological void, Reform UK has surged. Duncan Smith acknowledged that Reform didn't just poach disillusioned Conservative voters, they attracted some former Labour supporters as well. Why? Because, he says, voters are drawn to clear, unapologetic policies, even if they come from the political right. Reform's rise underscores the danger of abandoning traditional conservative values in pursuit of the centrist approval. Now, many see the Conservative Party as a watered-down version of Labour, an identity crisis that would have been unthinkable during the days of Margaret Thatcher. Duncan Smith suggests that if the Tories are to survive, they must reclaim their roots, a firm stance on conservative principles, not a diluted version of opposition policies. The stakes are higher than ever. Current polling and electoral projections paint a dire picture. Some forecasts suggest the Conservatives could be reduced to just 6 to 12 seats in the next general election. A total collapse is no longer a far-fetched scenario. It's a real and present threat. Should such a collapse occur, it would mark an unprecedented moment in British political history. The Conservative Party, one of the oldest political forces in the Western world, could be nearly wiped out in a single election cycle. Duncan Smith is clear. This crisis is self-inflicted, and the party's future hinges on whether it can rediscover and reassert its core identity. Is there a path back for the Conservatives, or is this truly the beginning of the end?